Hamas has named Yahya Sinwar their new leader. He's the mastermind behind the October 7th attacks on Israel. Dan Hoffman, former CIA guy, joins me now. What do you make of that? No policy change at Hamas, and they're still firing rockets into Israel. Not much progress there, is there?
No, there isn't much progress. And if the Biden administration is hoping for some sort of a resolution, a ceasefire, a negotiated peace settlement, I just don't think that's going to be in the offing. Yahya Sinwar, as you noted, a military hardliner, and his demands have been quite extreme. He wants Israel to withdraw completely from the Gaza Strip. He wants massive numbers of Palestinian terrorists to be released from Israel. And I just don't think that that's a recipe for success, long-term success, in terms of giving Israel the security that they need. So, look, he's hiding under tunnels, and just getting messages to him alone is difficult if you're thinking about conducting negotiations. This is an area on which the Biden administration is understandably focused right now, with the potential for further escalation in the Middle East, with Iran and Hezbollah threatening to launch a major attack on Israel. We've got to be very, very concerned in the coming hours and days.
A Pakistani national with suspected ties to the Iranian government has been charged in a failed assassination plot against American officials, including Donald Trump. Are there terror cells run by the Iranians inside America? And if so, what are we doing about it?
Yeah, well, I have no doubt that that's exactly what the Iranians are trying to do. There was a much publicized case about a decade ago where the Iranians tried to kill the Saudi ambassador in the United States, in Georgetown, in Washington, D.C. So they have their networks. They're a terrorist state, and this is what they do. That Pakistani apparently had been in Iran before he traveled to the United States. I have no doubt that the FBI, likely in collaboration with the CIA and others, had human source reporting on this Pakistani individual and the potential that he might have been able to launch an attack on a politician, including the former president. But they were able to disrupt it and run essentially a double-agent sting operation against him.
Strategically, would it be a good move by Iran to work a terrorist plot inside the United States with serious killing of American officials? That would really unbalance the whole thing, wouldn't it?
You would think that that would be a cause for war. One would hope that the United States would deter that sort of action because of the threat, the likelihood that we would launch a war on Iran if they were to do that. Imagine. But I think Iran has always wanted to demonstrate they have the capability to do that in an effort to cause what we've seen in the Biden administration, escalation paralysis, overriding emphasis on trying to diffuse the situation in the Middle East rather than show that we have the wherewithal to strike back. That's what deterrence is all about.
Dan Hoffman, thanks so much for joining us. See you again soon.